We are sponsored by a Korean Tottenham Hotspur fan who wishes for all Koreans and the rest of the world to visit and discover Singapore.
Email Kelly for an introduction to Singapore at jrjinsingapore@gmail.com. That's jrjinsingapore@gmail.com.
What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update live from Singapore. And as you can see behind us, there's the strip looking absolutely beautiful. We are, in our last few hours of Singapore, on the way to Japan tonight. But how have you enjoyed your time in Singapore?
It's been great meeting Singapore Spurs last night. Was a really great experience. They took us around. They got us some street food as well. Very, very spicy. I'm not sure I'm going to let them pick my spice next time, but it was brilliant. I had a great time. And look, I'm looking forward to Japan and Korea coming up, but I've had a really good time in Singapore.
Absolutely. Before we get into the update, I think it's worth to note that I think it was yesterday or today, whichever time zone you're on, marks 10 years of Ben Davies at Tottenham Hotspur. Longest serving player at the club. 10 years is quite a feat though, isn't it?
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought maybe when he signed it would last this long.
Pochettino's first signing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's literally been a perennial to backup pretty much ever since he's been here. But he's always been a good servant to the club. Whenever he's put on the show, he's always put 100%. And I think he's been fairly consistently decent, like whenever he's played. And 10 years is a long time to be at one football club. And look, there were rumours that we were open to letting him leave this summer. Doesn't look like those rumours are substantiated at the moment. Doesn't sound like there's any noise about movement. So looks like he's going to be here for even longer. And unbelievable that Ben Davies is a longer serving player. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, whether it be 10 years or 11 years, I don't think he's going to get a new contract. So it'll be one of either 10 years or 11 years, which is still an amazing feat.
So who's next in line? Is it Sonny?
Must be Sonny, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, it must be. Must be Sonny.
No one else.
Yeah.
I think Sonny and Davies are the only Pochettino players left.
Yep, I think you're right about that.
But let's get into the update. Let's start off talking about an update from Dimarzio regarding Emerson Royal. He says Emerson Royal is now getting closer to joining AC Milan. The distance between Milan and Tottenham Hotspur over a deal for Emerson is thinning. The hope is for Milan to close the negotiation in the coming days, albeit I think right at the start of the window we heard those kind of reports, but they come back round again.
I always said I don't think we've had the last of this deal, even though the bid was rejected. There's still many, many days of the window to go. We know that both parties want it. It's all about Tottenham agreeing a fee with Milan. And look, we saw the willingness to compromise with the Højbjerg deal. I think we probably wanted a bit more money for Højbjerg, but we compromised a few million, I think. And I can see this similar thing happening here with Emerson.
Yeah, let's just hope it progresses fairly soon. I mean, he is on the tour, he is out in Japan, so we'll have to see how that progresses. Is he going to wait until the end of the tour to seal this transfer, or is it going to happen and he's going to have to leave the camp? We'll have to wait and see. Next up, a publication called iPaper Sport, not really sure who they are.
Independent, isn't it?
Is that the Independent, is it? They say Ipswich Town are preparing a bid in the region of 18 million to sign Sunderland's winger Jack Clarke, which would mean net Tottenham Hotspur around 7.2 as a result of their 40% sell-on clause.
Wow.
Not too bad, 7.2 million.
And look, and in terms of that deal, maybe it's one we got rid of too soon, because he's gone to Sunderland and he's absolutely ripped it up and he's been absolutely brilliant. A lot of clubs have been looking at him this summer. Looks like he's going to get a big move to Ipswich, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him back in the Premier League. It didn't really work out for him at Tottenham, but he's earned us 7 million, so in the end, it didn't cost us too much. How much did we sell him for in the end? I can't remember.
Oh, it wasn't much. It was like between 2 and 5 million, wasn't it?
So 5 million, so 12 million. Are we getting a profit? Because it's under for 10.
Yeah, I guess we are.
Little profit.
Took a bit of time, but we got there in the end.
That profit.
Next up, Paul O'Keefe is talking about Will Lankshear, and he says Lankshear has impressed and there's a chance that he'll get opportunities off the bench next season. Spurs love him and his attitude. Lankshear is always asking how can he improve. And he does remind me a bit of, dare I say it, Harry Kane. Now, obviously, I don't know if he's going to get to that level, but the noises I'm hearing about him, how he works so hard in training, the little finish that he has as well, very reminiscent of Harry Kane, and the way he's always trying to improve himself as well and also came through and was rejected by Arsenal in the academy very early on.
A lot of similarities. In terms of play style, obviously a really physical striker, likes to run in behind, likes to use his physicality to really make a nuisance of himself for opposition defences. And I'm really liking the look of him. I think pre-season's done him well. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does on the tour. Now, obviously, they're going to say he's going to get opportunities off the bench, but if he comes on and scores and does well, there's no reason why he can't be starting games. It's all about if he takes opportunity. But it sounds like the more and more we hear, the more likely it is he's going to stay around instead of going out on loan, which I think was the plan before those two friendlies against QPR and Hearts, and now it looks like he's going to stick around. So it'll be really interesting to see how he gets on. I'm really excited about him. That goal against Hearts was hopefully just the start of things for him in the Tottenham first team.
Yeah, it is also worth noting that, you know, to get your homegrown status, you need to be at the club for 3 years consecutively. This will be his third year, so that I'm sure that's coming into the thinking as well.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Lily White Rose is talking about Bryan Gil, and he says, I'm not sure where the report actually comes from. I think it's actually Vamos Mi Sevilla, a Sevilla publication, and they say that Sevilla have made an offer to bring Bryan Gil back to the club, which is a loan with an option to buy, which would become an obligation if certain conditions are met. They don't want the buying option to be more than €6 million. We heard very early on in the window, or the back end of last season, that Spurs will be willing to do a deal for around €6 million. We heard yesterday that Girona are in talks with Tottenham over a deal for Bryan Gil. So mounting up the interest now.
Yeah, and obviously he hasn't gone on the tour to make sure he finds a move, so that would suggest that the talks are fairly advanced for him with one of the clubs. Obviously Sevilla have always been interested in bringing him back. They brought him back on loan, and there's always been rumours that he's going to go back there permanently. So I would think if Sevilla are serious about bringing him back permanently, maybe he would side with them. But obviously Girona, it is an interesting project. They're in the Champions League. They play really exciting football, but they have lost a lot of players ever since getting into the Champions League. Rumours of Dovbeek on his way out as well. So maybe you'll think, look, Sevilla's my home, and this is where I came through the academy, and that's where I want to relaunch my career.
Let's go to this report from Rudy Galetti. He says, following the departure of St Maximin from Ahli, are looking for an offensive player to replace him. In addition to Ademola Lookman, as revealed yesterday, the Saudi club also considers Son Heung-min on the list of targets for Ahli. All I'm saying is, keep your eyes off Son Heung-min. Keep your eyes off him. Who do they think they are, even having reports linked to him?
Well, he wasn't there. Saudi rumours for a couple of years, haven't there? And he publicly say, you know, he's got things left to achieve at Tottenham, and he's not going to leave just for the money like that. And there's no, Saudi doesn't interest him. So I don't think at this point, especially now being captain of Tottenham, being the face of the club, it feels that responsibility of having to represent Tottenham in that way. I don't see him forcing a move or going to Saudi. Obviously, Saudi looking to get a few aging stars. They're going for Ederson, who's in his 30s, De Bruyne in his 30s as well. So they're looking for one of those stars who maybe be at the tail end of their Premier League career. Not surprised at Son. Look, if any Saudi club would be lucky to have Son still playing at a really high level, and obviously with all the marketing that comes with him as well, and all the fanfare, obviously what that would bring to the Saudi game would be massive, and all of a sudden the Saudi game would get a new kind of audience, because all the Koreans will start following them. Because I don't understand why Saudi would want to bring in Sonny, but I think Sonny puts his football career first, and he puts Spurs first, and I don't see him entertaining a bid from Saudi.
All I can think about when I hear these rumours and these reports from linking Heung-min Son away, especially to Saudi Arabia, all I see is Will Smith in my head.
Will Smith
wanting to go up and slap whoever the reporter is. You're like, keep him out your mouth. That's all I can think of. But the last but not least, the Footy Insider is saying that Mikey Moore is very close to sealing his Tottenham contract now.
Yeah, that's really important, because Mikey Moore obviously impressing in pre-season, and the fact, I think didn't we offer him a new contract? We signed a new contract already, and I don't know if this will be a second one in a very quick.
No, you can only sign your first professional contract once you turn 17, and he turns that in August.
Well, there was rumours that he I can't remember. There was rumours like a year ago he was going to sign a deal.
There were rumours that it was agreed, but nothing can be signed until he's 17.
Right. So that's really good, and because the rumours that other clubs are circling, looking to hijack the bid. So it looks like maybe the fact that we're giving him opportunities has convinced him, look, they're giving me a pathway and I want to stay with Spurs, and that's really, really encouraging. And I wouldn't be surprised if he signs a deal and then a new one could be on the way soon.
Yeah, let's hope so. But he is absolutely smashing out in this pre-season. Goal contribution every single pre-season game. So hopefully more to come next week against Vissel Kobe, K-League All-Stars and Bayern Munich as well. That Bayern Munich game, it's going to be a real test for him, because you're talking about how he can perform against the QPRs and the Hearts and Cambridges and teams like that. But if he has a storming game against Bayern Munich, then bloody hell, we've got some player in our hands that can really contribute this season.
obviously, but I think as a 16-year-old, or any game you contribute, even as against League 2 opposition, whatever, that shows me something. If you're contributing at that age, even against those kind of opposition. So look, even if he doesn't do it against Bayern Munich, I still think we've got a major talent on our hands, and I can't wait to see more of him on the pitch.
All right, there you have it. That is our Tottenham update. Over and out from Singapore. Hopefully we'll see you in Japan. I think that is our next stop, unless there is another update to do, so we'll deliver it to you from the brilliant Chiang Mai airport. But thank you everyone for watching today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.